Somebody had an idea, and he made this suggestion, I think, a couple of days ago. He says, why don't you do a video on 23? How you like it, what you like, what you don't like, setup, I guess, I could throw in there, and pickups and pots and whatnot and so forth. I thought it was a good idea. So we're going to focus on just this guitar today for this one. 23. Let's go over one thing, though, before I even start. What one musician likes is not what another musician likes. This means that some of you is like 9 gauge strings, some of you is like 10 gauge strings, some of you is like heavy guitars, some of you is like light guitars, some of you is like quarter sawn maple and flat sawn maple, some of you is like flitch matched, some of you is like book matched. To sit there and say that a guitar sucks because it weighs too much is insane. Alright? It's just not how it works. 59 Les Pauls don't all weigh 7 pounds. That's nonsense also. There are a couple of heavy ones. More than a couple. So, when we're talking about historics or anything in general, it really comes down to the person who is playing the instrument. So I'm going to go over what I like about this specific Les Paul and why it's my number one. I have 2 number ones. This is one of them. The other one is the Richmond. We'll go into that in another video. 23 got its name because the serial number adds up to 23. That's it. That's how 23 got its name. I have dyslexia, and so to combat that in a certain way, I kind of add up numbers when I see numbers. If I see numbers on the subway or whatnot and so forth. So there was a dumpster outside my apartment one day, and it had a phone number on it. So I added up the numbers. When I went to the guitar shop that day, it just so happened that it's a guitar. I traded it, an even trade, believe it or not, at a Guitar Center. Rob Hickey helped me with that, I believe. If my memory serves me correct. And the guitar added up to 23 and said, fuck it, it must have been ordained. So that's how the guitar got its name. It's not the 23rd fucking Les Paul I bought. I've had money, many, much more than this one at the time, 23. Okay. I like T-bursts. 23 is a T-burst. What's a T-burst? Well, a T-burst is the transition from cherry sunburst, fades out a little bit more until it gets into a tea-ish color, ice tea-ish color. Then fades out a little bit more. The blue and the red are gone. Now it turns into a honey burst. Then from that, everything's gone, and it's a yellow lemon drop. I'm just a T-burst whore, though. 90% of the guitars I have are T-burst. I just like T-burst. It's just my thing. It's a flitch match. It is a flat sawn top, meaning that it comes from the middle of the tree. I like that. I like wide swatches of flame. I like uneven stuff. I'm not a fan of chevrons too much. I'm not a fan of straight flame too much. To me, it's got to be wild. That's just me. I love flex. I like the flex here. See the flex little dots. I like flex. It's wonderful. Now, quick little lesson. Flame is the abnormality in the wood. Right? These lines. Grain is the lines that go like this in the guitar. Grain is the little lines that you read on a tree to tell how old it is. Flame is not grain. There's a difference here. The guitar is not heavy. 23 is the last time I measured it was years ago, so I don't really know. Forget. But it's about 8.6, 8.7, maybe 8.8 pounds. It's not heavy to me. I lift weights, so it's not heavy to me. But for me, just where it should be. Not crazy, not just right. The neck is a little bit of a U-ish, C-ish shape. It has a little bit of shoulders here. It's thick enough where it just is very nice. Some people may think this is a thick neck. I have much thicker necks than this. I have some thinner necks than this. Just fits right in your hand. There's enough of a knot of a shoulder there that doesn't stop me from playing with my thumb, but I don't really play with my thumb, so not much. It tapers slightly, so that's good. Um, the neck worked, the weight worked, the top worked for me, and the sound worked. It's very resonant. No amplifier. Slowly, it became my number one as the years went on and went on and went on. When I get a guitar, I usually take them apart. It's the first thing I do when I buy a new guitar. I take it apart. I check everything, make sure everything is the right way it's supposed to be, and nobody fucked with it, and Gibson didn't do something wrong or whatever. And then I slowly remove parts that are inaccurate and put accurate parts on it. Reproduction parts, which are much better than Gibson. Even today's parts by Gibson, they're okay. They're much better than they were back then. Certain things, though, I didn't remove for purposes of purposely because it's your number one instrument, and it's like the bridge. The bridge has a Wyatt. It's the original Wyatt ABR1. But I've done so many shows and stuff like that. This guitar, I feel bad that if I take this off and put a different one on, the mojo is different. It's almost like a superstitious thing. So the bridge remains. The wheels have been removed. The posts have been removed. These posts have been removed. The tailpiece is original because the tailpiece is right. There's no reason to remove it. These are steel where they should be. The rings have yellowed like a son of a bitch. That's just from playing. You can't really see it too much in this light, but they've yellowed like crazy. They're fine. The switch tip is from Roy and Scott from RS. Their switch tip is fantastic. I don't know if that's gonna fucking. You can't really see that. You have to look at the bottoms also, because that's how the bottom should be. It should not be molded. Let's see if I can pull it out. Focus is right. It's gonna be hard to this. But I have a million of these, and so every one of my historics, I removed that tip immediately from Gibson because it is terrible. It's still terrible to this day. It does not look right. The washer has been changed to the correct washer, not the poker chip. The washer that holds the thing in. Poker chip I left there. It's fine. Pick guard. The knobs I've changed. These are from Mark, and I also have Kim's knobs. These are they're the real deal. There's nothing to say. The ones from Gibson, they changed them over about 14, 15. They're nice today. It's the way they should be. And that was the first thing that was like, oh, look at those knobs. Those are nice knobs. I like your knobs. That kind of thing. So I changed my knobs. All my historics have reproduction knobs. As far as pickups go, the pickups that are in this guitar are from John from Throwback. I know John when he started Throwback. Before he started Throwback, he was a forum member, so a lot of forum members actually started businesses from the forum. So I knew John for a long time, and when John started his business, I bought two of his pedals. He used to make pedals first. I have two of his very first pedals that he ever made. So he started making pickups, and he had this spool of wire from the 50s, and he said, I'm going to make a short run. Whenever the spool runs out, that's it. So I said, oh, it was really great. And I was talking to him one day, and he says, you know what, Todd, I'm going to make you a set. I said, I'll pay for them. No, I'm going to make you a set. You're one of my first customers ever, so I'm going to send you a set. It was the first time anybody ever gave me anything for free. It was very nice. Mike O'Donoghue also has done that, give me stuff. I don't normally like taking stuff from people for free. It's nice. I appreciate it. But I feel guilty. Anyway, John made the pickups for me. What do you want? I like them a little hot. So these are wired a little hot than his normal pickups. He sent them. I put them in. I never took them out. They fit. They just fit this guitar. They've never been in any other guitar. They've just been in this guitar. They're great pickups. They're balanced. They cut through. They have a good highs, not too harsh, not too mushy. It doesn't get a mushy sound on the neck pickup. Some people think it doesn't sound you know, clear enough. John is magnificent pickup maker. There's a lot of guys out there, but John is he's a meticulous bastard. He is a meticulous bastard. The tape is correct on the pickup. You know, he makes his own covers, so they're the right flatness and they're the right sharp edges and the dimples and everything. They're made out of the correct nickel silver German. You know what I'm talking about. They're fabulous. Not all pickups work in every guitar. You believe it or not, you have the wood, and the resonance of the wood has to fit with the electronics. So sometimes you put pickups in, it won't really work very well, and you take them out, put them in another guitar. Wow, they're great. These never came out, and they never are. They have aged, of course, from use, and which is fabulous for me. Love it. Pots, volume pots, tone pots have been replaced with RS super pots. I recently have been starting to remove all of the older harnesses I've had in all of my historics have RS harnesses, all of them, every one, even my 335s. Like years and years ago, I wasn't a great solderer, so you know they're a little messy, some of them. So I said, you know what, fuck this, let's just pull them out, put new ones in, you know, solder them up nice. So I get the pots from RS, or I get them from Kim at Historic Makeovers. That's how I got those Lux caps. And I wire them up and I put them in. They have a little form that I use. It's actually a little piece of plastic, and it's the same shape as the cavity. So you just stick them in, wire them up. It's a beautiful thing. It's like a little jig. I use a multimeter and I test them. Each one has to be at least 510 or something like that. They all measure out to about 543 ohms. You want that. They're all audio taper, no linear taper crap in my guitars, which means that you go from 0 to 10 slowly, and you will get a slow increase and go back down, and you get a slow decrease in audio hearing. No jumps. The caps in here are Lux caps. I had RS caps. Now, there's no difference really within the two of them. A cap, you're not going to hear a big fucking difference, if any difference at all. I know people are not going to like that. Tough shit. But it's the truth. All a cap does in a guitar is cut the highs. That's all it does. As long as you have a nice, decent cap. Nice, decent Erlen paper cap. And I prefer Erlen paper to anything else. So that's what I put in normally. And I had two nice Erlen paper caps from RS, and they worked fine. They were fabulous. I wanted to try out the Lux caps, just because they're cool looking. They're the real bees, you know? Gibson puts in fake bumblebees, and it's bullshit. Lux caps are real bees, and so, oh, fuck it. So I was buying caps from Kim. He ran out. He didn't have them. So I said, send me 2 of those fucking Lux caps and try them out. So he sent me 2 of them, and I put them in here. Same thing, you know, no real difference, but they look cool, you know? You take off the back, it's like, oh, look at that. That's really cool. Other than that, I mean, you know, the guitar has magic. It's a magical guitar. It has faded a lot in the neck. The neck is brown. It is no longer red, and you can see from the headstock to the neck is brown. Yes, all of the bleeding has gone from the fucking side of the guitar. People really have a shit fit about that. The back has really been eaten up a bit from the belt buckle I wear. Not terribly, but it's the bare wood now. You know, it's what it is. It's fine. Don't mind. You know, it's got its dents, its scraps, its scrapes, and you know all kinds of shit. The wood is the lack is actually coming off of the neck. See, I bumped it. Oh shit, I bumped it again. Oops. It's an instrument, people. Don't worry about it. Yeah, you pay a lot of money for it, but you're paying a lot of money for it because of a specific reason. It's still an instrument. Use it. You know, don't worry about bumping it a little bit. Don't abuse it. Don't put it on a fucking guitar stand when you have cats and shit. Don't put it on a guitar stand ever. Just don't use guitar stands. Please don't use guitar stands. Don't hang your guitars up and then fucking put them in their cases, please, and put them away properly, and then take them out and play them. You know, I know you want to look at them. Just play them more. I'm not a very sweaty guy. My hands. I used to have this friend. He had acid for hands. You wanted your guitar aged, you just gave it to him for like a week. He was unreal. So it has still stood up the test of time as pretty well, and you know it's got black from my black. I wear a lot of black shirts. It's bled into the finish, as well as the back here is all black. It's hard to see because you can't really see it in the light. In person, you can see it. Maybe you can see it a little bit here. It's a little black. Tuners, your standard Kluson single line, single ring, see-through suckers. Very lovely. Strings. I like Ernie Balls. I like Ernie Ball pure nickel rock and roll strings. I use 10. I switched over to 10 about 25 years ago. Maybe before that. When I was a teenager, I used to use 9s. I was a teenager in the 80s, so I used to use 9s in the 80s, you know, and then the early 90s. I think it changed over probably early 90s or so. A guy was in Guitar Center one day, and this guy says, "You should try some Ernie Balls." Big dude, older dude. "You should try Ernie Balls. You make that guitar sing. You should try some Ernie Balls." So, fuck it, they made Ernie Balls. Never look back. Balls the best, baby. Balls the best. Now, here's the controversy. Ready for this? All right. People complain about this. See how the string breaks this way and breaks that way, and oh, the G string always goes out of tune, and this always goes out of tune, and that always goes out of tune, and that's because you need graphite in your nut. That's because your nut's not cut right. Let me tell you something. Nobody's ever touched this nut. This nut, nobody's ever touched my nut. No, nobody touching my nut but me. Anyway, but no graphite. It's never been filed out or anything. Why? Do I go out of tune? No, this guitar never goes out of tune. Never. I'll play a whole show and not tune it once. I'll take it out of the case sometimes, it's still in tune. I'll wipe down the strings, it's still in tune. Here's what you gotta do. So you can get it real close here. Real close. Let's see. You see how many raps I have? And people gonna have shit fits. Well, you're not supposed to do that. That's bullshit. You're doing that wrong. No. This is correct. Now you notice the raps go right underneath each other. They do not overlap. And they're not excessive. They're to the point where it fills in the post. Okay? You put the string on like you would normally would. Wound strings are different than clean strings. Clean strings, you do a different way. You put them through the post and back around, so you lock them in and pull them. You hold it tight. You make sure that the windings go right underneath each other. Hold it up with your arm and everything, and as you're winding it, so it goes down smoothly. You don't want any bends and kinks and anything. You want them nice down. When they're just about, nice and good, on the wound strings, maybe about 3, maybe 2, depend 4. As you get to the skinnier strings, a lot more. The string locks into place. It never moves. So once you stretch them a little bit, once they get themselves, fit in there, you're good to go. You're not going to fucking go out of tune. Next thing, you always wipe your strings down. See this? This is one of my grandfather's handkerchiefs. The other one's my grandfather's handkerchief. This is a polishing cloth. But you see this? That's from wiping my strings down after I play and before I play. You wipe the crud off your strings. You take the thing, you do this, grab the string, hold the string down to the nut so you don't break it. Don't pull on it like a motherfucker. Just gently go like this. Go like this. You look at your thing. Wow, look at the dirt on there. That's what causes your guitar to go out of tune. Crud. not stringing your guitar properly, and quite frankly, when the last thing that comes down to it is playing style. I play very lightly. I barely touch the strings when I play. And this is, light or hard, or depending. I use medium picks. They have to be celluloid. I don't like any other material. Um, we're all picky about that. We're all picky about our picks, but this is what I'm picky about. Never goes out of tune. I don't need locking tuning gears. That standard 1950s issue, fucking, technology there. Nothing fancy. I have been playing for a very long time, since I was 6 years old. I'm now 48. Playing probably at least for like 20, 30, a long time. So I've learned this technique from B.B. King. That's how he used to string his guitars. The only difference with B.B. King is he used to overlap his shit, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I saw it one time that he did it in a magazine. I met B.B. King once, and I did talk about it with him for like 5 seconds. And it works. Give it a try. I'm not saying it's going to work for you. Give it a try. Just give it a try. As far as what does the guitar sound like, would you like to hear the guitar sounds and stuff? I don't have it plugged in today. I'm not going to play it for you today. There's many videos of me playing it. I'm always playing this guitar. Anytime I put up a video, you see me playing it, so it's up there. I'll do more videos of it. I mean, I even have videos of shows. If you look on my YouTube page, you'll see shows, and I'm always playing 23. I very rarely, if ever, play a show without 23. So that's 23. I'm going to do another video on the other number one, a Richmond, and that's a Yamato. So I'm going to explain what Yamatos are to those who don't know what Yamatos are. And it's similar. See, this is the thing. It's my other number one. It's similar to 23 in how it sounds and it weighs. The neck is a little different, though. It's not tremendously wacky fucking different, but it's different, because they're all different. But I mean, you would think that you'd want, like, your other number one would be just like your first number one. Not necessarily either. And that has different pickups in it. So that'll be the second video. This is 22 fucking minutes long. If you've watched this to the end, you get a gold star for today. I get a piece of candy for you, and you'll get a pick here. Here's a pick for you. Off to video 2.